Hello everyone. Yitka Bernardova here, and this is Stronger After Divorce, how to get your shit together and thrive after divorce. And I am very honored to be here today with Terry Maxwell. Welcome, Terry.
Oh, Yika, it is a blessing that you found me. I can't wait to do this with you today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Terry is an author and an advocate on shedding light on sexual and verbal abuse. Her mission is to pass on experience, strength, and hope to those in need of help. Terry's first book, More Than My Share of Pain, 25 Years in Abusive Marriage and How I Got Out, became an amazing bestseller within several weeks on Amazon. Congratulations!
Uh, a lot of people resonated with it. Everybody said, that's my story, that happened to me, or I can understand, or this happened to my friend. There was a YouTube video that came for the book that was put on YouTube. And as of yesterday, I think it was 174,000 people found it. And the majority of people that wrote back and commented was like, thank you for saying this. Thank you for putting it out there. Thank you for giving examples of what verbal abuse actually is. Thank you for sharing with us what you did to get out of it and through it. So I was so humbled. I was humbled when I saw that, because I hadn't looked like a year and a half on it. And actually, once I had written my book, I never touched it again. It was very, very painful for me to go through my experiences. And I actually, during part of it, I had my second husband with me because it was so traumatic that I would say, this is what happened. And he would actually type some of it in, because it was very difficult to write portions of that book. Other sections, I felt wonderful, I felt blissful. So I had the entire high and lows. But once that book was finished, I never touched it. I never opened a page.
Wow.
Yeah, I couldn't go back there. So now what I do now, after having gotten through sexual abuse with my dad from 8 to 12, and having a very toxic marriage for 25 years, and being estranged from my son, I have overcome those. And so I'm now remarried to someone who's very healthy, and we just celebrated our 10-year anniversary and got kayaks to go out there. And he's just a blessing in my life. He's a spiritual person. He's an honest person. He's a moral person. He's a good person. It's like night and day, the internal characteristics of both. I've also reconnected after 10, 11 years with my son, which I describe in the book, almost killed me. He just disappeared one day and never came back. I don't really want to go into too much detail. You're welcome to read the book, but it was very difficult. And now over the last 2 years, I've seen him about 4 times, and I have talked to him on the phone 3 or 4 times, and I've texted 30 or 40 times. So it's creating a strong foundation, creating trust, and it's still a work in progress. But my prayer and my hope is to reconnect and just be in his life, because he's an awesome kid, but he was brainwashed by my ex-husband and his family that I was the horrible person, I was the manipulator, and every other word under the sun. And essentially, I was completely estranged. So I've gotten through that. And what I do now is I have where people come and do yoga outside to help heal. We're doing yoga now on videos, different, you know, for different levels to help healing, because yoga and meditation together are very important. Most important is having a belief in a higher power, you know, turning it over. That is the most important thing. And then under that, there's different things that I have done to get through this. And they worked for me, and everybody that I've been in contact with, it's helping them as well. So that's what the good part it's like out of every adversity, that's where you grow the strongest. That's where there's so much that you can, out of the depth of hell, you become more humble and more empathetic, and like, why am I here on this earth? What am I here to do? Am I just going to enjoy my life? No. What gives me the most happiness is seeing the light in somebody's eyes, that I've reached them, and that I can, through what I've gone through, that hopefully that they won't be through as much pain, and or that they can realize that they're even in it. For me, I didn't even know I was in an abusive relationship until I thought I was absolutely crazy. And I ended up going to the domestic violence center, and they said, no, 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 you're not crazy. And I went there for 3 years, once a week, for counseling to get my head back to normalcy. Because when you're with a narcissist, it is so subtle that you don't even realize what's happening. And the other part of it is normally the people around you are not that healthy either. So the only
it's you.
Yeah.
There is something.
Yeah. So the only way you can get out of it is you have to remove yourself from these people completely and find your tribe, your people that support you, love you. You know, they love you for you, not what you can do for them or what you have for them, but how you make them feel. And so I had to remove myself from lots of friends, lots of things I used to do, and had to start a new life. And once I was out of that, then things started to click. And the other thing that helped me too was, at that point, my son he was 15 when he just disappeared with my husband. It's parent alienation. And what had happened is I had gone in his room, like to put down some laundry or something, and there on the table was like a little bowl for smoking pot. And that was just like the first time I'd ever seen anything. So because we were going through a separation in this time, and it's very volatile, and he fought every single thing. But anyway, so I saw that, and I was like, I don't want my son going down that path. And plus, being in my house, and now he has time with his dad 50% and time with me. My belief was, if my child is in my house, he has conditions, he has, you know, to be respectful, he has to help around the house, he has to do his homework, he can't be doing drugs and alcohol, he can't disappear at 2 o'clock in the morning. No, you can't do that. But my ex said, oh, she's crazy, she's just using you, don't listen to her. So one day he's gone, and then I keep thinking he's going to come back in a couple days, and I call, no one answers. I go to where they live, they don't live there anymore. I call the grandparents, they won't pick up the phone. I send letters to them. Every letter was returned to me, please return to sender. I was totally blocked off. I went to his friends, and if any of his friends knew that I spoke with him, he no longer associated with them. So I couldn't find him. I couldn't find anybody that knew anything about him. But because I was his mom for 15 years, and I believe myself to be a great mom still to this day, you know, some of his friends would come by and tell me things that were going on, and they were horrendous. All I can say is they were horrendous. Like I said, it's in my book. And so essentially, yes, all of us have horrible things that we've gone through, everybody. And it's your attitude and your choice what you're going to do with it. Are you going to be here and say, oh, God, poor me, and play victim mode all your life and not do anything with what you've been given? Or you can go out there and keep being resilient and get back up and say, okay, what can I do with this? What can I do to make my life better? What is there out there? What is it? And journaling is another way. If you journal every morning and you just take like 20 minutes, time it, and you write down all, like, this upset me, that upset me, and then you start getting to, once you've gone through all the negative, then it's like, okay, what am I here for? What is going to happen? What am I going to do? What's my next step? And if you do that for 20 minutes every day, I guarantee you'll start honing in what, you know, our higher power says. This is what's going to make you you. This is going to be the best you. This is how you're going to impact other people. This is your light. This is how you're going to shine. Is you're going to pass your shining onto other people. And so what I do now is I talk to people and I just say, well, this is what I've gone through and this is how I've survived, and let me share it with you. And it has been so humbling because I was so scared that no one was going to listen. It's like, oh, another woman that's been through abuse. But no, this one actually, I know I'm on the right path, and that's like the best thing to know. And I listen very closely to what my body says and does. And you listen to that little nudge, that little inner feeling, and you go where you're guided. You go to where you're supposed to be. And I am living like right now because I need my solitude. I'm a very social person, but I also really need quiet. So outside, I do yoga. I do my meditation every morning if the sun's out there, so it's coming right into me. And I have like the geese around, the eagles, my dog, my 2 cats. And so another thing I'll mention is having a pet. Pets, oh, yeah. Let me give you an example. I have a dog. He's a Westie. He's the first dog I've ever had. When I was growing up, I was not allowed to have a dog because my dad did not like dogs. When I was married for 25 years, I was not allowed to have a dog because my husband didn't like dogs. So for all my life, I've always wanted a dog, and I was not allowed. You know, that's bull. It's your life. No one tells you what to do with your life. So Jake, who is my second husband, one of the first things we did is, I've always loved Siberian Huskies. So I want this big, beautiful Siberian Husky. And he's like, Terry, it's a big dog. You've never had a dog. Why don't we just start off with a little smaller dog? Okay. So we went online and did a lot of studying to figure out, okay, well, what kind of dog do I want? I want a dog that's intelligent, that's lovable, that's hyperallergenic, and, you know, loves kids. So we got a Westie, and we drove all the way to Pennsylvania. We went through 2 states to buy this beautiful little Westie. And I fell in love the moment I saw him. But one thing I can tell you is that 2 weeks after I had him, because I had no idea he's like a baby and that you'd have to do everything. So after 2 weeks, I just remember this one time I'm laying there on the bed like this, and I'm like, oh my God, this is like having a child. I had no idea it was so much work. Doesn't matter, love him to death, but it's a lot of work. But they help heal you. Dogs, cats, they're very healing. Nature, to me, nature is one of my biggest healing points. Whenever things are difficult for me, I'll go through the park and go through walks, just quiet and in nature, and just sit out and just listen. And that's what works for me. And I have lots of other things too, but those are like the main ones that I've gotten through. And because of knowing what's working for me and working it, and then seeing if there's other things, that's how I'm growing. And I always believe I'm going to keep growing forever until the end. And I will, because things, you change every minute. I'm a different person than I was an hour ago. I'm a different person than I was a day ago.
Yeah.
So many things happen into your life. You're always changing. And I'm trying very hard, like, to change, to be a more spiritual person, a more conscious person, a less judgmental person. I'm trying to be the best that I can be.
You are amazing example that there is a better life for us if we choose to.
How you have to do the work.
Choice to stay in a victim mood or just do something. And I like we both resonate in that it takes not just mental but also spiritual and physical growth.
Yes.
And it's so funny when you talk about your dog. I always wanted dog too, but my mom, she doesn't like dogs. So when I got married and when I got kids, our first dog was Westy. His name was
No!
Isn't it cute?
Well, actually, my second book is called Walks with Macduff. And it's like healing in nature and living in the moment. And it's just about how an animal and nature can make you whole.
Yes.
And
that works for me.
It's the truth.
Yes.
It is the truth.
Yes, it is. Anytime I feel down, I can go for a walk in the nature to the beach, and I'm happy again. I said.
Yes. And in my house, I have tons of plants. I have like 3 trees, tons of orchids, lots of different plants, because I love the smell of all the different flowers. It's great because it looks beautiful to me, and it's healthy for you because you're breathing in the carbon dioxide. So pretty amazing things.
And I like that you said your second book, and I know you are working on your third book.
Yes.
But in your second book, it's important to live in a present moment.
Absolutely.
Especially when you are just after your divorce. Just don't look too much forward. Just stay in that present moment and take just tiny steps, right?
Absolutely.
That helps you survive.
And the thing is, you never think you're going to go to the end of that tunnel and see the light. And when you're living in fear, it just consumes you. There was times, like through my separation, I lived in fear in being in my house that my ex would come and do something. So I would have a friend with me come and make sure he wasn't hiding anywhere in the rooms or outside. And I made sure all the windows were locked. And I lived in fear. I lived in fear that something was going to happen. And that's a horrible way to live. And I would do a lot of mantras, prayers that you pick certain words, certain lines, and just repeat them over and over and over again, because I couldn't live the next minute. I couldn't. It's flight or fight syndrome. And you're just reacting to everything. And it's a horrible way to live. It puts so much stress on your body. It makes parts of your body that are susceptible to getting sick, get sick or get ill. And a lot of people live in fear for lots of different reasons. And the anxiety level is like through the roof around here.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult to find people that just want to relax and live in the moment, because a lot of people are like, I have to do this, I want to buy that, I want to go there, I want to do 5 different things today.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Thank you so much for being such a strong woman.
Oh, Geetka, thank you for having me.
And I know you have a gift for our listeners.
Yes, I do. As I mentioned, I do have, this is the book that's out there on Amazon, and anybody can download it for free on Kindle, so go for it.
Yes, I recommend to read it.
Oh, thank you. And the other thing is the video. If you go to YouTube and just put in Terry Maxwell, please watch it. Please comment. Let me know your thoughts. And my gift for you, and this is for 3 different people, so however you get people in there, what I'm doing is I'm giving a 4 half-hour, so once a month, to see like where you are right now, whether you're in something, you're getting through something, you don't even know you're in it, and essentially help you get through it. So it's like 4 sessions, and normally that's like $1,000. So I'm doing it, I'll give it to 3 people, as passing on my experience and strength to your listeners, and that you're doing a kick-ass job doing this summit. I am so proud of you. And I hope more people that watch this do this, connect with us, get us out there, you know, help us support each other. You know, my belief with women is we are here to support each other, not stab each other in the back. It would be so much better if we pass on love and strength. So thank you, Yitka.
Thank you so much for being here.
All right. Love to you and everybody. Namaste.